Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the other videos? Another paid request, this time from Antonio. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested requests in any type of topics like this, or reviews, or video game stuff, or whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. I actually forgot, I actually have a Cash App. If people feel more comfortable that way, just let me know. I always forgot that I had that. I have the Cash App thing. And yeah, interesting topic Antonio wanted me to talk about. He said, "Do you please rank these studios, including their backlot and things of that nature?" Studios he mentioned were Disney, Universal, Sony, aka Columbia, Paramount, Warner Brothers. Those are the companies he mentioned. And of course, it's a bit harder to do because there's a lot of companies, especially nowadays, that have popped up. They're smaller companies. Hell, Netflix has their own movies, things of that nature. And I think with all the years and all the decades of films, it's gonna be tough to judge like what is my favorite and second favorite. And weirdly enough, as I'm looking through this, I mean that doesn't include like canon films, like would they fall in the MGM, but they also work with Warner Brothers, PM Entertainment. I enjoy that company. But when we look through this, I come to find out that maybe my favorite film company was Sony. Which I never thought that'd be the answer because, especially, their work with TriStar Pictures. Whether which is TriStar Pictures itself or with Carolco. Because while a lot of other companies like Universal would be up there because they release films like Hard Target, Tremors, The Thing, Fox would be up there before Disney bought them. Now maybe Disney, maybe put that in there because that would include the Fox brand. But I'm separating that because most of the stuff is not because of Disney, it's because of Fox. So I know I'm not putting Disney up. Disney's last. No matter what, I'm going to put Disney last. So I'm going to change it up because my list, Fox is going to be its own separate entity. Fuck it. I mean, technically you say, well, TriStar Pictures would be separate entity, but oh well. My rules. But when I looked at TriStar Pictures, and I looked at even Columbia, like Columbia back in the day, I love the Three Stooges. I'm a huge Three Stooges fan. Those are some of the stuff that really helped me when I was a kid, watching so many Three Stooges stuff. And when I go through the years of TriStar, I'm sitting there going, well, wait a minute. The Rambo trilogy. Carolco had a hand in it, but that also worked with TriStar Pictures. The Running Man. Jacob's Ladder. The Hitcher. The Blob remake. Then, Cliffhanger. See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Runaway with Tom Selleck. Even later on with Columbia, the Bad Boys films. And lately, I mean, every studio's done stuff to piss me off, but they haven't done stuff to piss me off too much lately. I mean, every company has, but compared to Paramount releasing those shitty Ninja Turtle films, Warner Brothers and Disney making every other superhero film ever fucking made, based on their recent track record, they're a bit lower on the list, although they've had some great stuff in the past. I mean, even lately, like Columbia, I think they worked on Bullet Train. I think they helped release Bullet Train. So yeah, when I looked at Sony, especially for the TriStar Pictures, plus I like the logo, I always basically think of Richard Pryor. While it was a shitty movie, there's a film called Another You, and it does have one of the best opening logo things where you hear Richard Pryor's voice going, "Whoa, boy, boy, wait, fucking wings, what's going on?" And you hear a crash, and you hear Richard Pryor going, Fucking White Horse. So I mean, looking through, I did the era of worked with Terrical, TriStar Pictures stuff, worked with Terrical, releasing films. I mean, like for example, if I look at the list of TriStar Pictures and films they were affiliated with, they get the full gist of it. I mean, distributed Rambo vs. Barber 2, produced by Terrible Pictures, Iron Eagle, The Hitcher, Short Circuit. These are films that were, if not part of my childhood, like The Monster Squad, The Running Man, Rambo 3, Short Circuit 2, The Blob, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Lockup, produced by Terrible Pictures, distributed by TriStar, Total Recall, Terminator 2, the 1990 Jacob's Ladder, Universal Soldier. I think, again, their conjunction with Terrible Pictures and Terrible Pictures, I mean, I'm named Rambo, Wrath for Life, thanks to Terrible, but also thanks to TriStar Pictures. So I have to give them, and then I didn't help them with Cliffhanger and these other movies. I have to give them the bit of the top spot for me. Beverly Hills Ninja, The Fan, Jumanji, As Good as It Gets, Godzilla. I like the 1980 Godzilla. And lately, they haven't done a whole lot, but they also haven't done a whole lot to piss me off. Like, okay, Sony Pictures. What have they released? That's why it's tough, because there's so many other companies intermixed with them, and how the hell do you judge each one? I mean, I guess lately, okay, Uncharted sucked. Bullet Train I liked. I think they had a hand in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I liked that one with Tarantino. And Venom I wasn't a fan of. I did like the first Spider-Verse movie. So you have Mobius and like Venom and stuff. So they had a little bit of the superhero thing, to be fair. Kraven the Hunter. But not as much compared to Disney and Warner Brothers. But like I said, TriStar Pictures, Terrible, that's the big part why I put Sony as number one. And like I said, the Blob remake is one of my favorites. Cliffhanger, one of my favorites. Runaway, childhood favorite. The Running Man, one of my favorite Arnold films. But I think the Rambo trilogy in particular, Rambo 2 and 3, which are my favorites. Some may say, well, maybe they don't really have much to do with First Blood, but Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, Terrible, those made my childhood. Rambo 2 and 3. They helped make my childhood what it was. And the guy I am today. So. Number 2, I put Fox. I'm not connecting with Disney. Fuck that shit. And as much as I gave shit to Fox in its waning years, I gave so much shit to it because I knew their heyday. Aliens, Predator, Predator 2, Die Hard, 1, 2, 3, 4, Commando, Speed, Big Trouble in Little China, Independence Day, Broken Arrow, hell, Weekend at Bernie's, Ford Fairlane, True Lies. Their fucking heyday was spectacular. There's actually a part of me that was thinking of making them number one. It's just because Disney sadly bought them and they got bought out, and their waning years led to that with The Predator and crappy X-Men movies. So I guess they had a hand superhero as well, but not as much as Disney, Warner Bros. But That's what brought him in number 2. That's why Sony has to be careful with these fucking superhero films. Don't become like Fox and, but Sony's a much bigger thing. But because of that heyday and that backlog of Alien, Predator, Die Hard, again, Bitro Low China Speed, Commando, that stuff. Loving the logo, the old school logo, the Fly remake. And it's Fox, that fucking 20th Century Studios stupid shit. I hate that shit. 20th Century Studios sounds bland as hell. Bland as white bread. It's 20th Century Fox. We're supposed to fucks. As in fuck you, Disney. So, Fox I put as number 2. I had to think about number 3, Universal. It had to be in the top 3. Number 1 because of, it's back there, Hard Target. Had to put Hard Target in there for number 3. Hard Target is my favorite film. The other stuff I put ahead because of what I said, but they also did John Carpenter's The Thing, Tremors, End of Days, Jaws, Time Cop, Cheech and Chong's next movie, Scarface, Twister, Back to the Future films, the Child's Play sequels I actually give a shit about. Yes, I like Jurassic Park, Twister, and like every fucking studio, they have franchises that keep going and going. Like, what was it, Fast and Furious? But I did like some of them. But I don't feel inundated on superhero films like Disney and Warner Bros. Were doing today. So, Universal I put as number 3. Number 4, I'll put Warner Brothers. Because I was thinking, well, okay, do I want Paramount or Disney? I didn't have the choices he put in there. I put Warner Brothers because releasing films like Cobra, Demolition Man, Shodan Low Tokyo, Lethal Weapon films, The Last Boy Scout. I mean, it says Shodan Low Tokyo, Gravity. I love Gravity with Sandra Bullock. I did like the Batman. I did like Joker. That was Warner Brothers. Hell, the racist superhero films I've liked have belonged to Warner Brothers. So there you go. Did they... Who released the Suicide Squad? The last one. Was that Warner? I mean, it's DC, so I would assume. But... Yeah. Okay, I would assume that, but I just wanted to double check. So, of the ones, they were the ones that I did like. So, Warner Bros. I put above some of the others. I mean, it's also tough because I believe... Does Warner Bros. Own New Line Cinema now? Because, okay, New Line Cinema would be in the game because of the Ninja Turtle films of the 90s. And the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I guess technically Warner Bros. Owns them, but then, okay, they own that, but then Paramount owns Ninja Turtles, the name. So are they some weird conjunction? Well, we own those movies. It all gets confusing to me. It's hard to... Like, if their backlog includes New Line Cinema, then Warner Brothers... Because New Line Cinema, I did like as a company. I liked Rush Hour 1 and 2, and among other stuff, but in Warner Bros. The Matrix, I enjoyed that film, so there's a part of me wondering if I would put that in the top 3 after TriStar, Sony Terrico, Fox. But Universal, with the Hard Target and Jaws and Twister, Tremors, John Carpenter's The Thing. Yeah, Hard Target and John Carpenter's The Thing. That's a pretty big double feature for me, so it's hard to put that in. Warner Brothers. I'll put a little bit lower because of all the DCEU bullshit that they've saddled people with. Man of Steel. On the flip side, Batman and Superman back in the day, but then, again, that's why I put them above Paramount and Disney. But the other shit, Wonder Woman, Aqua Douche, all this other shit. After that, I'm going to put Paramount. Because Paramount's given some good films for me. The Golden Child I love. Uncommon Valor I love. Stephen King's Graveyard Shift. Crocodile Dundee. But you gave us, Michael, you fucked up Ninja Turtles nowadays. You and Nickelodeon. It's Nickelodeon's fault, to be fair. But the fact that you worked with Nickelodeon, you belong lower on the list because you worked with Nickelodeon. Those nickel and diamond pieces of shit. And you release these shitty Ninja Turtle films that piss me off more and more and more. Michael Bay, steroid abusing fucks. Mutant Mayhem. That literally, there's an ad playing that they bring up the milking. Mutant Mayhem is for mutants. It's for mayhem. It's for milking. Literally, the ad brought up the milking. So that's Mutant Mayhem, the new Ninja Turtles. Fuck that movie. It was funny, the other day someone said, is that one of the worst films I've seen? I'm like, no. And someone goes, but wait a minute, you said the Michael Bay produced films are some of the worst films you've seen. I'm like, well, shit, I guess you're right, you got me. So yes, I guess it is one of the worst films I've fucking seen as a fan. So yeah, I guess you got me, son. You got me. You got me. Maybe by the end of the year, I will think that's the worst fucking film I've seen this year. And you may be right. I probably would rather watch The Flash than, that's why I haven't done a worst of the year yet, because the year isn't over and I'm still thinking. So maybe, give it time, it will be the worst film I fucking see this year. I'd probably rather, by this point, I'd probably rather watch Beau is Afraid more than that piece of shit. Especially how fucking overrated it is, Mutant Mayhem. Fuck that movie. So, you release Mutant Mayhem, you're on the list. Lower part of the list. And last is Disney, because while like Touchstone Pictures, I believe, is with Disney, and Touchstone Pictures, I mean, they released some good stuff back in the day. And then can judge like 3 Men and a Baby. I love 3 Men and a Baby. I think some of their affiliations, Arachnophobia, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I like the original Lion King and stuff of that nature. But Disney are such douchebags. What they done to the Star Wars films, what they done to superhero films in general, milking it dry, speaking of milking, what they done to the Marvel Universe and the Marvel characters, what they done to people like the Hulk and Thor and Doctor Strange and all the politics, where they were the number one forefront of it. Doing remake after remake after remake of their animated films into crappy live action flicks and incarnations. Disney's at the bottom of the barrel list. Well, they own Fox. Fuck that. To me, it's separate. Well, no, I'm making a difference. I'm pulling the trigger and saving Fox from the burning building. Disney is the hostage takers. Fox is the baby taken hostage. I shoot the fucking hostage taker. I save the baby from the burning. I got burning baby all over myself, as Cheech would say. Cheech and this movie. Look at me, I got burning baby on myself. So, number one, I'm going to put Sony. Because, again, I didn't realize, like, TriStar Pictures, how much a lot of their films shaped my childhood. So it was actually interesting to do this, to realize how important TriStar Pictures were. Again, whether in conjunction with Caracol Pictures and all this other stuff. Rambo Trilogy, Universal Soldier, Total Recall, again, Runaway. That wasn't Caracol, but I mean, like, Cliffhanger, all this other stuff. Again, The Hitcher, the Blob remake. Like I said, 2, Fox. No matter how their waning years were shit, Alien, Die Hard, and that's also like Orion Pictures. Like, where does Orion Pictures fit in? Does they release RoboCop, Bill Does X an Adventure? But like, okay, where did Orion Pictures fit in? I didn't know if that was did MGM or like Lionsgate. How does Lionsgate fit in? Because Lionsgate released the John Wick films, the first three. Did they get bought out by MGM? Or there's talk of maybe Paramount buying Lionsgate. Again, everybody's like buying everybody else, so that's what gets confusing. Everyone's going to buy everything until all of a sudden one company owns everything, and then maybe put the shit on TV and call it cable. I don't know. So as is now, I put Sony, TriStar, Terraco, like they're all in, like Columbia, the Three Stooges, they're all in, I put 1, Fox 2, Universal 3, Warner Brothers 4, Paramount 5, Disney 6. But MGM didn't get on the list because the guy didn't have it on there. Like, okay, with Canon Films, like, who released most of Canon Films? Like, which... Because it felt like with Canon Films... Like, they were their own thing. Although once in a while they would work with another company, but they would kind of release their own thing. Like, Canon Films was a big part. PM Entertainment... it was a fun company. So I guess sort of the I don't know how to put it. Special mention to Canon Films, special mention to PM Entertainment, New Line Cinema. I guess Warner Brothers now owns them. But I guess like their heyday, New Line Cinema in their heyday would be on the list there somewhere. This all gets confusing, but Paramount is second to last because of what they've done to the Ninja Turtles. I take that personal. And last is Disney, because Disney are dipshits. That's what the D stands for. Disney are dipshits. That's the truth. That's the fat jack. So there you go. Oh yeah, Columbia, didn't they did Ghostbusters, right? Ghostbusters is classic. Like heavy metal, they did heavy metal. That's a great one. Like if I look up Columbia Pictures, just Columbia Pictures, not TriStar, but Columbia Pictures. Silent Rage, Chuck Norris. I think they helped work Blue Thunder. Man, Ghostbusters, The Karate Kid 1 and 2. Like, especially The Karate Kid 2. Fright Night. Love the original Fright Night. God, there's a lot of movies to get through. A lot of movies per year. Actually, I want to see what did they have in the 90s. I'm just curious as I do this. Sorry, I know I'm not saying anything. Oh, I just said they have released Groundhog Day, which I enjoy that film. They have released Last Action Hero, In the Line of Fire, Striking Distance of Bruce Willis, Shawshank Redemption, distribution only, produced by Castle Rock Entertainment, Desperado, Match Some Wrist, which I enjoy, Extreme Measures, Anaconda, The Fifth Element. Oh yeah, The Fifth Element. I love The Fifth Element. So that's definitely a big plus as well. And compared to other companies, they haven't done as much to piss me off nowadays. So, take that for you will. Fucking white. Let me see if I could. I don't know if it will come up.
Easy, boy. Steady. Wait. Wow! Fucking lanes! What's going on? Fucking white horse! Fucking white horse!
Rest in peace to Richard Pryor, but so there you go. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.